Welcome to Narrowboat with James Built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Well, there's only 3 days to go, so it's kind of all systems go now. It's Saturday today. I'm here all day. I'm hoping to go back home tomorrow just to kind of drop a few things off, freshen up, have something nice to eat, watch the Ryder Cup, and then hopefully Dad's going to drop me back here on Monday, just kind of still working out the logistics with Will. But really today it's all about the engine and electrics and power, really. Paul is coming here kind of afternoon time, so before then I need to go to the chandlery and get all my cables. I need to go to B&Q and get a few bits for the sink in the bathroom. This morning there's a few bits inside I need to sort out. I need to make a door for that as well. I was going to make 2 doors. The problem with this, and I've seen it on loads of narrowboats, around the door here, the last thing you want is things opening up around here, because it just makes it really kind of narrow. So I'm going to opt to just have something which kind of just, I don't know, fits in with magnets, and they can pull it apart, you know, pull it aside easily enough. My first job was to install the taps. So nice little mixer tap there, and obviously put the pipes in. I now need to put a couple of T's in from the hot and cold feeds there, going straight up, and then tomorrow I need to get myself a thing for the basin, and then I can attach my pipe, and then I can box it all in and be done. Good. Here's the board I've made up. Just we've got a couple of magnets top and bottom, just to make it easy to get this in and out. As I said, I didn't want hinge doors because it's a bit of a hassle. This one here is always going to be in the way whenever I'm opening this, so it'd just be easiest to move the whole thing out of the way. That fits in there nicely. I'll finish it up one day, but for the moment that'll do. Right, here's the alternator. I need to take this off and either replace it, or we need to realign it slightly anyway, so it's more in line with the pulley, just slightly out. I've taken off the alternator and the belt. I'll replace the belt because this has just been sitting outside for a couple of years, so I'll replace that. Alternator though, I'm not sure if that needs replacing. Obviously the bracket where it was needs to be kind of realigned slightly. Right, I've been shopping. This is all the cable for the battery, solar and kind of engine setup. Alternator's okay, got a split charge, all the lugs, good to go. Right, so I'm putting the old alternator back on, just trying to change the angle slightly, but I put the this is the new belt that I put on, but I'm going to tighten it all up and then see if it's all in line. So Paul and I are just rigging up the batteries at the moment. So Paul's busy crimping cable, I'm putting in the battery box for the starter battery. Alternator's back in, and it's, well, the lining's okay. It's better than it was. It's not as good as it could be though. But I'll probably change the alternator at some point. But we're just going to rig it up and see what kind of output it produces. Right, the battery install's going all right. Let's show where we're up to. So, starter battery box is in. Haven't done anything with that yet. Obviously all those have been connected up now. And then what I've got to do is just cut out a notch down here now, probably with a hole saw rather than a jigsaw to get out of that, just so we can feed the cables in underneath the lid of the locker. So I've got fuse points there for the bilge, But yeah, it's taking shape, and I've decided to mount the key over on this side here. So I've got a little, I'm gonna have to make like an instrument panel to go here. It was gonna kind of incorporate with the step. I'm trying to get some of this subfloor off, but it's not easy to access, and it's really well stuck to the bottom of the shower tray. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to change the shower trap, because this one, well, it's not a very good one. This one here is screwed in, it's a much better fit, but this is taking some work. Okay, that fits on there now, nice and snug. So when I screw it in, that's going to really pull it in tight, which is exactly what I want. Now I just want to see, there's not enough room for the pipe, so I need to trim more off for the pipe. Right. So out with the old, in with the new, and it's got a screw thread, so it's nice and tight in there, so that's excellent. I'll put a bead of silicone around there as well. Right, well, it's now Sunday morning, and ideally I want to go back to London tonight to watch the last bit of the Ryder Cup, have a lasagna, have a bath, have a decent kit, dump my car and come back to the boat tomorrow. Before I do that, I need to really kind of tick off quite a lot of stuff off this list here. So just go through it now. Right, where are we up to? Battery fuses, done. Oil filter, I've done that. Battery cables, done. Haven't quite connected the solar yet, can do that this morning. Alternator installed, done. Stove fuel, done. Water, done. Hatch locks I've got, but I had to use the timber I bought to put in the hatch locks on this side here for my step arrangement. So I'm gonna have to buy some more of that. Super seal the shower, done that. Stock the galley, haven't quite finished that. Finished the electric cupboard, kind of halfway through that. Fasten the deck boards, I've done most of them. Tidy the wharf, I've done some of that ish, got more to do. Stern electrics, shower trap seal, interior painting has not far off. Got rope, got barge pole, got mooring pins, got fenders, got gangplank. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. Hatch locks I can put up on the cut. I don't need any power tools for that. Electrics, I don't need any power tools. I need power tools for finishing the deck. That's probably about it. So yeah, it's looking in quite a good position now. Okay, it's not particularly easy to see because some idiots put these massive joists down, but basically the 4 leisure batteries are in, all connected up. Starter batteries in, not quite connected up yet, although the cable's just there waiting for it. We've got a split charger on here with the on the starter battery box, so feed comes in here from the alternator. One goes off to the starter batteries, one goes off to the leisure batteries. On the leisure batteries, we've got a fuse box here just for some engine bay stuff like bilge pump, and then under here we've got our isolator switches and mega fuse. We've got one more isolator switch to put in, and another mega fuse actually. So that's all that stuff. Just takes forever crimping all this up. And then all the cables have been, well, so we're going into the alternator there, on those ones there, and there's some other cable run going round to here. And this is going to form part of the step to step on and off the boat. And then the engine key and a few other bits are going to be mounted temporarily here. In time, I'll build an extension, a single story extension above here, make it into kind of an area here, and I'll be able to house my bits and pieces in there. Right, this is going to make the front for the, I mean, you're not going to see much of it, so it's okay. This is just a little bit of phenolic ply, and this is going to make the bit underneath the step for the starter key. I've had to make it conical. It's not exactly an easy fit, this thing. Basically, it's just that little cylinder. It's got to poke through here and then clamp it on with the nut, and that will kind of pull it through. Goes that way up. I don't really need this weatherproofer on because it's going to be protected anyway, but I'll see how much I can get this to pull through. Right, there we go. Not exactly sophisticated, but that's it. So I can now mount that onto the side step, wire it up, and I have an ignition key. That's cool. Now I've just got to work out the place to put in my the other thing I've got is a little lamp. I've got a green one. This is an alternator light, which it doesn't show that the alternator's working. Well, it kind of does. But it's basically to liven it up. This produces a bit of resistancy for the alternator to kickstart. So obviously it's not an LED to produce the resistancy. I think I'm going to mount that kind of next to it there, something like that, just to make it quite easy. And obviously I've got green because that's a sign of go, power. Right, so the cables are now coming up through here. This has got the ignition cables in it, and then this has also got the, so this is the ignition. This has also got the 12 volt coming up here, so I've got some, so I can put in some USB charging points and things like that. This key was going to be at the lower point there, but I'm thinking this morning I might have a bit of time just to increase the height of this, which I was going to keep this level here, see at that level, because that's the step. But from here onwards, maybe a little bit narrower than that. From here onwards, I was going to make this a little bit higher, as like a seat or something. Not that much higher, maybe just up to there. Just kind of bum level would be about there. It can't be any higher because then you'll be underneath the rail. Right, let's see if I can get that done. Right, I've raised the step up, and this is providing kind of a seat area here. I've got the ignition cables going to it. I've got the ignition in. Now I'm just gonna clad some of it. Right, so I'm starting to clad the step. The reason for this is because I've got 3 of these boards which I will need to cut, and obviously I've got a power tool to cut them. So I'm doing this now. So I've got 3 of these to do. I'm gonna mount them from the outside. So on these ones you are gonna see screws, but I'll try to disguise them later down the line. So I'm going to do one long one there, another one there, do a cutout there for the step bit to come in. The steps are going to overhang slightly, and then yeah, carry on this line going that way, and then a piece for the top. Here's the step at the moment. Got the key in there, behind there. I've cladded those two bits. I've done the cutaway for the steps. So now I just need to make a couple of steps, make the top ledge and these ones here, if I've got enough timber. But I'm very quickly running out of this stuff. Right, so I'll put in the step here now. It's not secured in place, but it takes my weight. Nice entry level to the boat. Bloody hell, it's high up. Right, now I need to put a top on this, but I'm pretty much running out of timber. So I'll have to get some more maybe for Monday and do the last couple of bits on Monday. But I'm happy with how that's starting to look. So kind of some bits up the side there, ones along here, something along the top. The thing about the top I'm not sure about is these boards go this way, those boards go that way, which is right. I wouldn't have it so those boards, oh, should have had it that those boards go that way. Maybe that's what I should have done. For some reason I just thought that would be better. I mean, it looks alright. Anyway, it's done now. Right, so cables to come back up here now. Where are my cables gone? Right, so they can feed up through the back here. Right, so there's enough flex there for the starter key and some other bits and pieces. So, right, that's good. I don't think we're a million miles off now turning the key. Starter batteries in, leisures are all in, that's got nothing to do with it. Just need to do some cables now from the starter battery to the well, through the starter motor to the key. That's the next plan. Okay, inside the electric cupboard now I need to modify this. So the positive buzz bar is going to go. Feed's going to come in from the engine, negative onto there. Positive, actually negative is going to go straight onto negative buzz bar, which is going to be that one, which is going to take them all. That's going to be mounted up there somewhere. And then the positive is going to come onto that. And then that will then feed the fused switch panel. I'm now just kind of tidying up the electrics cupboard, sorting it all out. And out here, I've put the, sorry about the shadows, I've put the switch and the, sorry, the light, the alternator light there next to the socket. I've put it on that side so it just makes it quite easier to see. So it's kind of taking shape. Not far off wiring up the solar panels and kind of starting it all up. Right, the electrics cupboard is taking shape. So explain kind of this top bit here. So these are all the various looms from around the boat, all labelled up. These are the negatives coming down here. So they're all going to go onto this buzz bar down there, something like that. And then that's going to take obviously the negative from the boat, off the batteries, which will have a mega fuse in it, and the positive coming in from the batteries will go onto there again with a mega fuse on it, and this will go from this to that'll power up the switchboard, and that's going to have a MIDI fuse on it, 100 amp MIDI fuse. Well, she's definitely starting to look more like a narrowboat engine bay. with all this conduit about, but it's yeah, it's getting there. We are a few connections away from powering her up with a key for the first time in ages. And then the only other thing that's really changed in here is that the cold feed has been plumbed in, so we've got some cold water in the bathroom for brushing our teeth and stuff, and obviously I've put that in there just for the hole. I just need to get the waste trap fitted tomorrow, and that'll go in there. Then I can box all that in at some point. But yeah, it's looking good. So that's in. Toilet's all connected, obviously. That will be connected. That is connected. So get in there. Right, well, this is the big moment after 2 days of working in the batteries and the stern. Got the key. Light on. There we go. Fired up on a key. Job's a good one. So a little bit of tidying up work to do here. I've got to get a top for this. It's only going to be temporary because I've run out of timber. But yeah, job's a good one. Well happy with that. Key. Finally. Right, this is the final electric cupboard kind of view of things. So that's all the negatives going down there. It's all labelled up there. That's what the back's looking like. The only temporary one is this cable here going down to the power in. That's just because I've run out of 35mm cable, so I've got to go to the Chandlers tomorrow to get that. But otherwise, this is how it's looking now. Just there on the negative buzz bar. So plenty of space to add a few more bits, and then solar cables will come in there. Solar cables are already there, and then get some more 25mm cable. I'll double check what the solar charger can take. I think it's 25mm cable. Get some more of that from the chandlery tomorrow, and then that is it. We're done. Electric's finished, but it's all up and running, working a treat. Just need to obviously finish the cladding on there, which I can do at kind of any time really. There's a few extra switches in case I need to add things down the line. Well, the light's fading, but there's a few more jobs to do before I go back to London tonight to watch the last bit of the Ryder Cup, although I don't think Europe are faring very well from what I've heard. Right, let's do a bit of a update. So this is where I was kind of early on the day. Right, tidy electrics, that has been done. Woohoo. Key, done. Woohoo. Oil pressure dial, I'm not going to be able to do that now, so I don't have to worry about that. New gas, do that tomorrow. Solar connected, do that tomorrow. Hatch locks, couldn't do that because I need all the I need to use all the battening for this stuff, so I'll do that tomorrow. Stop galley, I'll do that tomorrow. Finish the electric cupboard, yeah, that's now been done. So I mean, that's looking all right. Tiller extension, I'm going to put it down as done because Paul's going to weld something onto that tomorrow. But I mean, really, apart from a bit of internal painting and hatch locks and things like that, most of the stuff on the list has been achieved. And this was all like the super important stuff to get done before we depart on the cart. And it's either super important because it needed power tools, like the hatch locks need power tools, so trim the timber down to put them on, or it, you know, for the actual navigation it was required. So yeah, it's all done. Well chuffed, well chuffed. This has worked out all right. Obviously this is a bit of just temporary trim here on the top and on the side, to be honest, at the back, because you can't see that, but you can if you're standing on the port side. It looks ghastly, but this is all taking shape. I think I'm a bit, yeah, I'm annoyed I've put these in this way round. That should have been lengthwise. So, but I'm going to need some bits of this stuff to go on the panels here, because that will work fine. So I think I'm going to buy a couple more lengths of this, redo this, finish the top bit here, but that can all be done on the cut because I can cut through that with a saw. So before I leave here, I'll get a couple more boards, take them with us. So well, yeah, Will can cut them down whilst I supervise. I've got to take a few more bits back to London now, but other than that, that's it, it's done. I mean, there's literally plug in the solar panels tomorrow, that's it. That's the only thing that remains in terms of all like the key stuff. So it's been a weekend of, or it's been really full on. I was saying to myself the other day that if I can get to the point that Sunday night I can spend a bit of time just kind of cleaning the galley or whatever in preparation for Will and my dad coming on Monday, then that's a great situation to be in, because it means that I've done kind of all of the major jobs and I'm not stressing like a nutter. So that is good. So the plan is go back to London now, freshen up and chill out for a little bit. Got to go to the Chandlery tomorrow. I'll probably go to one, maybe the Uxbridge Boat Centre or something like that. And then my dad is going to pick me and Will up, or we're picking Will up, and then we are coming up here. So we're meeting Will in Tring, and then we're going to get up here for about 5 or 6 o'clock. Got to do a couple of bits with the solar tomorrow afternoon, and then drinks here tomorrow night. You know, last few bits and pieces to be done, and then that's it. We're off. Obviously there's loads to do on the cut, which is fine. I always anticipated that. All I wanted though is to make sure that by the time I do leave here, most of the power tool work's been done, which it is. All the electrics are done, which they are. All of the cold water is done, which it is. The engine's working, it's been serviced, it's been looked at. The key works. So yeah, happy days, happy days. Obviously security is going to be an issue with the hatch locks, not having them installed yet, but Will and I are going to be on the boat. So, well, when you see us after a few days, there's no way there's going to be an intruder coming in. So that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.